Hello, everyone. How are we all tonight? Hope we are doing good. Is anyone here yet? Let me see. Let me see. I don't see anybody here yet. But hey, I'm here, right? So that's all that matters. Thank you. Last one, let me share this out. So, figure Stiller does this start an off-air hangout. It's like a week in a row he's done it. Like 45 minutes before me starting. Okay, so share that. Let's grab that link. And let's put it in our Discord. There we go. Then let's go grab the link and invite copy. Let's invite some people. Let's see. Okay, sketchbook the link. I don't think you'll end up coming. We'll give here a shot to Chris. Although I don't know it can either. So let's see. I guess we do need to. Well, got the back. Okay, so what's going on, folks? Uh, I've got a couple pages uh, done on, well, page and a half, page and 3/4. I'm not sure what I'd call it. Done for Canadian Shield 3. Um, as you guys might have seen, I've been putting up videos. Uh, since, what was it, last Friday or Saturday? Well, I think I put up five now, so Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday. Yes, it's last Friday. I've been putting videos. There's probably not going to be one tomorrow because I'm not going to be doing anything tomorrow. Nobody's here to hear me talk with all this. So I'll probably end up repeating myself at some point when some people come by. Uh, so I just need to talk about whatever for at least half an hour. Oh, we got somebody here. Cool, cool, cool. Hello, hello, hello. But yeah, got my ticket for a thing next week. I started looking for a place to stay. Well, I've asked a couple pastors that I know out there. One's responded a little bit, but like I said, hasn't said much. And the other hasn't responded at all. But it is what it is. I know I'll find a place, and I don't know what's going to happen once I get out there. Um, so, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a very unique day for me. Um, Tomorrow will have been my mom's birthday. She would have been turning 72 tomorrow. That's gonna be a painful one. I'm planning. Hey, goodness, man, what's up? Not much. It's yammering, trying to think of stuff to talk about. You may have just I was to say tomorrow, January 10th. would have been my mom's birthday. She would have been turning 72 um, tomorrow. Um, it's also my cousin, not the cousin that I'm living with at the moment, but my cousin's birthday. Actually, cousin I'm living with, brother, whose name happens to be Rick, his birthday as well. Um, so I will be tomorrow. I'm probably going to be getting up as soon as I get up, within probably 5-10 minutes, half an hour max. I'm going to be heading out the door because I think tomorrow I'm going to want to be by myself most of the time. But I'm going to do a couple things with somebody. Um, uh, there's something I used to go to on Wednesdays. I'm going to go to that. So I'll be around people for that. Planning on going to see a movie tomorrow. It's a movie that I wanted to see. It was one that my mom would have loved to see, I'm sure, and I would have taken her to see it. Migration. I'm not sure whether you've seen any of the trailers for that. It's about uh, animation, computer animation. It's about ducks and finding out about the city for the first time and various things. It looks pretty good from what I've seen in the trailers. And I'm going to go to a burger place called The Works. Uh, I wonder if I would feel the same if I remembered people's birthday. Well, if it was somebody special to you, you know, my mom was special to me. But a place that we've went a few times to on her birthday called The Works. It's a burger joint. It's a little bit fancier, of a burger place. And my cousin's supposed to meet me downtown to go see the film, the cousin we're living with. And then I've got a place that after that, shortly after that, I'm going to go to for the rest of the day. Probably watch some movies that I've already seen before on a DVD player, Blu-ray player. I'm actually feeding somebody's cats while they're away on vacation in Cuba. So I'm going to go to their place for a bit. Well, actually, I'm going to be going there before I go to the noon place. That's where I'm going to go from here right in the morning. Hey, Joshua, how are you? How was your weekend? I just started watching the Invincible season 2 today. I'm actually just about halfway through the first episode. Just before that, I watched Adam, Atom, Eve, the Invincible Adam Eve thing. My grandmother was born February 29th. She was pretty important, but she celebrated it some other day. I never remembered. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, but well, obviously she would have had to celebrate it on the 28th or the first, except for like every 4 years. But since her birthday only technically came every 4 years, could you have said she was like a quarter of the age that she was? She only had her birthday every 4 years, technically. And this, of course, is the first one. I'm not sure what second, third, whatever. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. No, that would have been easy to remember. It was nowhere near the 29th. That's interesting that you would celebrate it so far. I'm assuming after, not before. But as I was saying, before you got here, good night tonight. Um, is I've started working on Canadian Shield 3 again. I've been putting up videos. I've put up 5 so far, including today's. There's not going to be one tomorrow. I was hoping to have some footage done for it, but yeah, like a couple of weeks into March. Oh, okay. Well, that's not a big time after, but yeah, it definitely would make it harder to remember if she just did it willy nilly the day that she celebrated it. Like, 1 year is going to be, March 14th, and next year it's going to be March 17th. Yeah, it could definitely get, you know, complicated. But you know what? Not to put anything on you, but you could have, always went and said on the 29th and said, or I mean, on the 1st or the 28th, take your pick, said, "Hey, Grandma, happy birthday!" Taking her out for dinner on the 1st or the 28th or whatever. I don't know. My mom didn't really have anybody else, so, you know. And another reason we did it was because my grandfather, her dad's birthday, is January 7th. And it was something that we tried to do every year. I know we did. I'm not sure whether we did, but we tried to do it as much as possible. Go out for something to eat and um, go to a movie on her birthday after my grandfather died the year after, and that was he died in like '96. He died in July of '96, July 8th. He died on my friend's birthday. I was at my friend's birthday party when he died, and it didn't have a cell phone back then, so I ended up getting that a little bit late finding out. Uh, that was very. She was very insistent that no one celebrated their birthday earlier than the actual day. Bad luck. Okay. Well, then I guess it would have been the first. You also come whistle in the house at night. Oh, okay. But the first year, I think it was the first year after he died. Me, and me, my buddy Chris, who was like a son to her, um, myself, I took her out to Red Lobster, um, which isn't, we really went there much. Ghost. I think that was, I had been to Red Lobster a couple times. That was about the one time that I went to Red Lobster. Red Lobster was a really treat because she liked seafood a lot. We bought stuff like that every so often. But yeah, I've started on. I've got one page done, page 19. Well, I've got it inked out, if you will. Not Olive Garden. No, there is Olive Garden here, but um, I don't think I've actually ever been to the Olive Garden myself. And actually, this year, well, technically last year now, was the first time that we went out in a long time to celebrate my birthday. And we just did it because it was, I wanted to do it because it was my 50th. We didn't usually ever do anything too special on my birthday. You know, when I was a kid, yeah, lots of special stuff. You know, she's a birthday parties for me, stuff like that. But my birthday is not till the 24th of June, of course, as you may or may not remember. This year, I'm hoping I will be out in BC for my birthday. Not sure what I'll be doing out there, but I think I have it on my calendar. it's it's good if you do remember. If not, it's all right too. You know. Hey, Captain Finity, how are you tonight? Uh, yeah. So let me show the one page that I do have done, and then I will show the page that I'm currently working on. Well, I've been working on it. So there. Okay, so here's the page that page 19. We have Canadian Shield versus Absorb. This is in Wawa, Ontario. I'm going to probably fill in a little bit more of the background details, but they're just standing there. There's some sort of conversation. Absorb grabs this lamppost, although you probably really don't know it's a lamppost, sucks some energy out of it, then uproots it and tosses it to the Canadian Shield a few feet as much as he can. It bends, breaks, falls to the ground, and then he ends up burping out a nuclear fireball. So, oh, and then the other page that I'm working on here is page 11. I gotta change up. I just redid Messenger in this bottom panel with a template or template, something that I was looking at to give me a good idea of how to do the trench coat properly. So that which means I gotta go and redo him in these couple other panels, I believe, or partly anyways. The trench coat, I think. But and then I'm going to be working on 17 here. That's going to be the next page that I start working on. Well, I'm not sure whether I'll start finishing this, but this will have like this is going to be a skylight area. Sunlight comes in through, and messengers breaking up through. Not messenger, absorb, and then Canadian Shield's going to follow. And then I'm going to work on page 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so let's put my camera back on. Hopefully you saw all that. Let me know if you did. Is this an animation? Happy New Year. On the topic we've got, you may not see me around here in the future. Why? Is this an animation? Is what an animation? Oh, the thing for Absorb? No, it's just, it could easily end up being, I could actually animate it probably a little easier, add a few extra panels. It would be neat to see that animated. My boss died. Not sure what's going to happen, but I assume my flexible schedule privileges will be going away. Okay. Well, sorry to hear that. Or at least I feel it's like it's disrespectful for me to be showing up so late when he's done so much for me. Yeah. But no, it's not supposed to be an animation, Joshua. It's just supposed to be a. It's like 8 panels, and this. I wanted to do something a little different. And I'm trying to, you know, make sure everything looks a little different for each page. Yeah, there's some that have 6 panels that are laid out like a traditional 6 panel page. Hello, hello. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'll get the camera going in a second if you guys can hear me. Camera, OBS, camera. Okay, so let's. Okay, now the camera should be going. Okay, I don't. My USB thing that's on my computer fell off, and I think that messed everything up. So it looks like I'm back. I'm back. After these messages, I was right back. Okay, it wasn't messages. So what was it talking about? I don't know. I got interrupted. So yeah, it's gonna be. So it looks like I'm doing Canadian Shield 1 again. Although the guy that did number 2, I had reached out to him and got back to me. It's just he just it's hard to get a hold of, and he doesn't get back. It's like a week, 6 days a week after you send a message to him, he gets back to you. So that could be a pain. Oh yeah, I was talking to John Dillard. what was it, yesterday or Sunday? Um, his kids got the package I sent. They're doing good. It's going to be. We were talking about this down and explaining why they being the sacred sword into space. The sword of Kalas. And it wasn't a sword, it was a bat'leth. I thought you were going to say John Lilbro. But no, John, he had to get all the piping redone and pay for that, but the woodworking and all that, they're going to be paying for the insurance, so that's almost it's almost ready for that. Didn't we already make Shield? Did I say Shield 1? I mean Shield 3. If I said 1, I meant 3. Yeah, but yes, I already made Canadian Shield 1. But yeah, John got that package. Kids love the stuff, so that's good. Ella and Emma, and Rick, did you remember? Rick, how do you remember that roller coaster? Because I'm a Trekker, Trekkie. I don't know. I like Star Trek a lot. I watched a lot of Star Trek back in the day. You should just keep rebooting and remastering. People get tired of that quick, like The Last of Us. Yeah, well, I don't get a cult following well enough to do that either, Joshua. And if everybody can hit that like button and share this out, let people know I'm here. You know, but, okay, real question. But the real question is, are you surprised that you do exactly what you're talking about? What? Why is Vic sentiment? I have no idea what you mean by that. Are you talking? What are you talking about? Hmm. Yes, I'm very surprised. I guess it was just a memorable episode. I don't know. I'm not sure how many times I saw that episode. I've only seen that episode probably 2 or 3 times. Why is Vic sentient? Well, who's Vic? Oh, Vic. Oh, I know who you mean. Because that's the way he was programmed to be. Timothy, hey Tim, what's up? I saw it once 29 minutes ago. Vic Fontaine. No, not Fontaine. Vic. I know who you mean. He's sort of fashioned after some of the singers in the 40s or whatever in the lounge clubs. Can you believe what happened? What happened? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Tim. You'll have to tell me. Sinatra, yeah. Yeah, definitely based off Sinatra. And, there was another one that he was probably based off of. Oh, That's happened to David Menzies about 4 or 5 times now. Dean Martin, you don't know. You saw. Yeah, I saw the initial thing a couple days ago. Um, I watched this most of the special that they had today, but yeah, he's been arrested a few times and bullied a few times. This is like the fifth or sixth time that's happened to David Menzies. Although I must admit that it was more of a trumped up charge this time. Although it's usually fairly trumped up. Oh, for trying. Yeah. Well, there was one time in winter. I think yeah, it was winter. That he was outside of some restaurant waiting to scrub Trudeau, and as true, he never even got to give Trudeau a question, and he got roughed up, and he got roughed up a lot worse by the RCMP. Rick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much should I care or be aware of what Timothy is talking about? Probably 2 or 3, maybe. Maybe one. You literally saw God purposely. Well, I won't say the guy purposely run into him, but the guy did stand there and just purposely, trying to block David's way. David, you know, sort of kept going. You know, I'm not sure whether I'd say he bumped into David or David bumped into him. That's a bit in the air, but trying to say that you know he was assaulting a police officer was a little bit of a stretch. Rick, why did you give a tunnel under a place? Rick, I did. So Kingpin is going to be the new MCU. Kingpin, really? Two, for, 2 or 3 is way too high, by the way. Probably is actually. It probably should be a one. Good night. When Canadian reporter got arrested for bullshit reason. Well, he was let go pretty much right away too. Like within 10, 15 minutes too. All charges were dropped too, Tim. If you watched the special today about it, which is usually what they do, they drive them down the road and let them off somewhere. A lot of times, and of course, Rebel's going to sue. But it's not nothing special for Menzies to be arrested for BS reasons, for them to, chase him off our property for BS reasons. Rick, why do you did you glue Rick, why did you glue a tree back together with wood glue? Is it because your neighbors would report you? I have no idea what you're talking about this tree thing. Good night, man. But yeah, I saw the video about him being arrested about 3 or 4 hours after it happened, or 3 or 4 hours after it was initially put up on YouTube. So it wasn't for me. It wasn't anything new. I've seen it happen before. My goodness, smoking crack solars first. It's even more obscure reference than Joshua was. What was Joshua's reference? Oh, this is probably either from Star Trek or some other movie or TV show. The one that Joshua said, I almost think it's from Weeds. God, I didn't get your reference. if, if that's happened, you can't answer what happens to reporters in the States. Yeah, well, Tim, the States isn't quite as bad as Canada yet in that regard. Trudeau literally controls all the media, or most of it, all the mainstream media at the moment, or has pretty good control over most times. Where Biden doesn't even have close to the control that Trudeau does of the media. He just they're just usually in his favor for other reasons. Some lady glued her tree back together. Okay. See, Trudeau gives all these media companies money. And because he gives them money, they do whatever he says. Uh, was it shredded to pieces and glued back together like Bob's door in Monsters Inc. Boo's door. I should say not Bob's. I found out her tunnel caught fire, flooded, and then there was a gas leak as well. Unfortunately, fortunately for you guys, Biden does not give money away to what you call it, the media in things like Trudeau does here. Uh, Although Pierre Trudeau, not Pierre, Pierre Poilievre, the guy that's head of the Conservative, he wants to defund one of the main things. He wants to take a lot of that funding away when he becomes prime minister, which a lot of people are for. That's how it should be. Brought the, the I don't think it was that bad, but it was bad enough for people to question their engineering abilities. Huh. And who's this that we're talking about, Good Night Spoon? Who is her? Tunnel Girl. And who's Tunnel Girl? Is this a YouTube channel? Although, talking about tunnel, there is a guy called Colin Fuser. He's done well, I guess it's so secret, but he did a secret tunnel. He's over in England. He did it, made a tunnel between his house and a shed underground. Now he's sort of making a place for a car to park in. When car drives in, it goes down, and then thing goes over top, almost sort of like the X Men jet. Two girls, one tunnel. Okay, is this a YouTube channel, Joshua? Good Night Spoon. Let's see whether I can find that Colin guy in secret tunnel. Okay, so here is a link to the channel. He does all sorts of inventions too. Uh, don't try and get a date with her. I'm going to fix her up with my lead engineer code. Apparently, he's also built a bunker in his backyard. So, I thought the tunnel would have been here. Film gadgets. Okay, and then here's a link to the first part of the tunnel thing. Hey, JR. Rick hates Star Wars. I like Star Wars. Okay, this is Rick. You should find a like-minded individual you can speak to hours for and make a podcast called Two Peas in a Pod. How about somebody else named Piper? It'd be two peas in a pod. Two pipers in a pod? In a podcast? Now this is podcasting. This is actually this is probably an actual Star Wars podcast. Uh, said hi to JR or hate Star Wars. I do not hate Star Wars. Rick, Rick Google whether or not this is podcasting exists. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'll probably get something by Google. I mean, I don't know what I'll get though. Not sure whether I want to know. I get stuff. Trekkies can be whatever Star Wars fans are called. Fanboys. I think they're just called fanboys. I'm not sure. I know there was movie fanboys, but I've heard that term fanboys in reference to other things. So you have an encyclopedic knowledge of this. You aren't allowed to. I do not have an encyclopedia knowledge of Deep Space Nine. My 3D print of Battlestar Galactica coaster has just finished. I'm waiting for it to cool. Cool. Yeah, cool. So cool. I sent out invites. Nobody wants to come on my show. It must be really boring if nobody wants to come on my show. Yeah. Or I just do my show too late. You know what? That's going to be weird. If I do my show at o'clock when I'm on the West Coast. Stop being boring, man. Rick, you can't even stay talking about Ahsoka and all the other Star Wars properties that have come up. I can stand to talk. I just don't remember that much. I haven't seen them that much. I've seen I've seen probably every DS9 episode about 3 or 4 times, maybe more. I said this was late 3 months ago. Yeah, well, if I did it at 10 o'clock East, Pacific time, this would be like 1 in the morning. Rick, you should watch it. I started watching The South of Wawa, um, and draw comic book tie-ins, then asked to make them official BAM and Canadian thing. Well, I'm not sure what I can do to do tie-ins on a scale of 1 to 9. How much Riz do you think you have? Riz, what do you mean?
See better like that?
Yeah, I'm already either way.
My eyes are bothering me from the die.
Yeah, no problem. Exactly. You have much more to say about an episode of DS9 from 4 years ago. That's what we watched. Well, I'm not sure whether I have much more to say. I just know more about it because I've seen it more. Just do the tie-ins, ask permission later. Well, unfortunately, JR, I'm not sure. Well, first of all, I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I'm not sure what I can do to do tie-ins, obviously, because I haven't watched it. And I've already written the script. The best I can do is maybe have something in the background. This chat is a zoomer for me. Too zoomer for me? Okay, I'm not even sure what you mean. And I'm not sure whether I had more to say. I just simply knew exactly what you were talking about when you said about the sword floating in space. But it was sword. It was a batleth, a Klingon batleth, and it was supposed to be the batleth Alis, which is part of the Klingon religion. Oh, before that happens. Are you talking about Data's the prototype before lore? Because that we got to see in Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis, or was that Insurrection? I think that was Nemesis. Yeah, that was Nemesis. Because technically, I think B4 was supposed to be before lore and Data. But somebody said doesn't make sense. I'm Generation Junior Joshua. Hey, Mike, how are you? Just finished a few minutes ago, and now I'm dropping a like, share, and say hi. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Up to these messages. We'll be right back. Oh, Laura and Data had another prototype. I never knew that. Yeah, well, that's what I got. In Star Trek Nemesis, I'm not sure whether you've seen the movie. Um, they found scattered pieces of another Data type android that was called B4. And from what I got, it was supposed to be before Data and Lore, but it looked exactly like. But it was way dumber. It hadn't had anything programmed into it. Was I don't think it was ever really fully brought online like Data or even Lore. And of course, that also is the one with Picard's cloned. Jeez, clones everywhere you look. Although I don't think another android that was created, prototype. Oh, that's the best word I got for it, prototype. Would be considered a clone. At that point, would Data be the clone of it because it was before Data? So, could never see make any other androids that looked different than Data and Lore. Well, he did one that was different than Data or Lore, and that was Data's mother. Which one is in Picard? Well, Picard's clone in Nemesis got killed, and I think they actually made a Picard android in Picard. I'm not sure. I know everybody said that, but I somehow I missed that. I don't know. Maybe I was too sleepy or something when watching that episode. I think if that happened near the end of season one of Picard, or was that season two? I didn't watch. Yeah, I watched it, but season three was good. The only episode that I really liked in season two was, or season one was the one where he visits Riker and Deanna on their home on the planet that they were living on. Yeah, but yes, I heard they turned him into a 200-year-old android. Picard sees one he dies and is downloaded into an android. Okay. I guess nobody knew that because season two was all about androids in it, wasn't it? The fact that them having not being able to be activated or whatever, there was a problem with them. Wasn't that what season two was about? All about the androids. It was illegal for androids to exist. Who's my favorite DS9 character? Not sure. Uh, I'm gonna say Dax. I think I like Dax the most. Which one? I don't know. 70-year-old cook emasculate android instead of a charismatic leader. What made an android? Oh, wrong. Oh, the correct answer is Steve Brown. Oh, yeah, I forgot that he was on that. He's pretty good too, yeah. I was thinking of saying Odo, but then there is Cork. Cork was actually pretty good. Just kidding. The right answer. Oh yeah, a Ferengian Starfleet. You know, I had an idea like one of my ideas, I got it. I'm not even sure whether I have anything written down. But one of my ideas, this is before Voyager. Um, I'm not sure whether it was before DS9 or not, but I said one of my ideas was they had to do. What was this with that idea or just something else? I think I was trying to create a Star Trek series, and I put a Borg crew member on, and I think I even put a Ferengi crew member on. Are you joining Starfleet? I did watch season 2 of Picard, like Mark Hamill. Picard degraded right now on behalf of a racist that is just for payout. I will never respect him again. What makes you ask whether I'm joining Starfleet? I wasn't planning on it, but yeah, I but I've said for quite some time that they needed to go to the 31st century. Um, I said they needed to do one thing, and these things both sort of happen. Um, they needed to either go to the 31st century, start a series in the 31st century, or and because at that point everybody's dead because all of us Star Trek, and I'm one of them, are going to be whiners and say if we go to the 24th or 25th, whatever the next one after, uh, you know the next generation, whatever I think they were in the 24th, so it's the 25th. Everybody, oh, we want the work. We want to know what's happening with all these characters that were in next generation and Deep Space Nine, and then by the time Voyager came around, that too. But yeah, I had said they needed to go to the 31st century because everybody was dead, or they needed to make a mirror universe. My one idea was too the mirror universe invading everything, taking over, so killing off everything. The everybody just they come into the main universe and they've made it a shambles. They've taken over. They run everything. The mirror universe is now multi-dimensional, inter multi-universal empire. I binged Orville a couple weeks ago. That's kind of better than Star Trek. Yeah, or it's as good as original Trek. Respect to, I think he means Picard or like Mark Hamill. Good night, Spoon. That he doesn't respect either of them because they, just because they got a payout, they did what the writers wrote. They acted. They didn't see it and say, nope, not doing this. So a lot of the ideas that maybe they've heard my ideas, or maybe it's just natural. A lot of the ideas I seem to have said for Star Trek, they seem to have been put in at some point. Not that they would ever be able to hear my ideas, but it's just amazing that somebody else has thought of the same ideas as me. Although, what's her name? Seven or Nine in Voyager wasn't really a member of Starfleet. She wasn't a board member of Starfleet. But yeah, I was trying to create a premise of a rebellion type group doing having a something similar to a puddle jumper in Stargate. something maybe a little bit bigger than that, and then it'd be a universe. Well, it could universe hop, but it could also hop from like, you know, go around like from alpha to beta quadrant to delta quadrant easy. Why would you expect them to begin with? They're strangers who you've never met or known playing make believe for them. Well, he probably respected them as actors or whatever because they were fairly good actors. I would guess, anyways. Now he doesn't even respect them for that. So let's see. If I start, depending on what happens out there, debatable. um, what happened? I'll give him some more food after. I don't know. Did I give him more food today? Yeah, I did. I also watched the Flash movie. What do you think of the Flash movie? Good night, Spoon. Aside from microwave babies, I can see why you enjoyed it. Uh, well, technically, he didn't microwave babies. He just put the baby in a microwave to sort of protect it. But quit judging my question. Rick. What was your question? I didn't see it. I don't think I saw it. Oh, Rick, when will you introduce Canadian Willie to the Congress? Okay, who's Canadian Willie? It was good nostalgia, but yeah, I just don't like the fact that um, Supergirl wasn't able to defeat Zod. He wants to know how much Rizzoli you have. And
Cookie, leave me alone. You're looking for a fight.
or I should say, who's Willie or Canadian Willie? Steamboat Willie. Oh, a version of Mickey Mouse. I don't know when I'm going to do my version of Mickey Mouse in the Cross Comics universe. Although, if you do remember a while back, I started creating my own Mickey Mouse thing. Something Moose, I think it was. Although, yeah, Steamboat Willie can be technically, you can have Steamboat Willie in your thing now because that is, I believe, now in public domain. So that's probably why you're asking. Canadian. But if I made my own version of Mickey Mouse, I saw that for the first time. Mickey is too bad. Why do you say that, good night, Smoke? I think I've seen the cartoon before, or portions of it. I'm not sure whether I've ever seen the full thing or not. I know it's a short film, so it's. I'm sure one way or the other. Uh, he assaults all the other characters on the show. Not that copyright law has ever stopped you before. True, true, true. Actually, it stopped me a lot. now live with no consequences. True, I could, but I'm not going to. Well, it depends on what you mean by stopping me. It stopped me a lot from creating characters that, or doing things with certain characters. I just create my own version of them. No different than, Marvel or whatever, all these other companies that do the same thing or have done the same thing. Well, let's just create our own version of Superman or Batman or whomever. Marvel and DC do to each other over. People demand live reaction. Steamboat Willie. Maybe I'll do that before I leave to the West. Yabba dabba do. Yabba dabba do. Scooby Dooby Doo. So what do we got to talk about? We've talked about tomorrow, talked about what's going on with comics. Uh, would your version of Steamboat Willie repent from his abuse of animals and become I don't know. Um, and is it abuse of animals when you are? Well, I guess it would be, but not in the same way because he is an animal. It would be abuse of other species. Uh, you have to curl up in a ball and chant. Chat, this is crazy. Chat, this is crazy. Chat. Okay, you're obviously quoting something that I have no idea what you're quoting. Hmm. But I've probably seen the original Star Wars movies, one, two, well, four, five, and six, as many times as I've seen most of the episodes of Star Trek, or any of the episodes of Star Trek, well, especially from original to I'll say, what's the name of it? Enterprise. Because I haven't really watched much Discovery too many times, or Picard, or anything after that. It's modern Canadian religion, to my understanding. French Canadian. Okay. Steamboat Willie, Goofy Cakes, Willie. So Steamboat. You know the porn parody. Usually porn doesn't usually care. They do the parody anyways, I think. That's just modern woke Disney. Am I right? Yeah, probably. No, because you know what? From what I know, I've heard porn parodies usually get the characters done better, more correctly. Yeah, people might assume porn parody is a fiction of this. Like I said, I've heard people talk about it. Joshua, just make goofy trains. Did you just say? No, I did not say I watch porn parodies. I said I've heard people talk about it in comparing it to, modern stuff or just comic book movies in general. Even before, you know, we got everything so messed up. Sus. If you could make one fictional character public domain and add two crosswords, who would you choose? Pressing X to doubt. Ooh, then venting. Well, I'm not sure whether I'd even want them to be public domain. Just if I could buy one character. Although I'm not sure who I'd want to. I love the Libstone German word for life lives. That Christians watch less porn than Christians. Uh, I'd probably go with one of. In some ways, I'd say Wolverine, but there's too much violence for him. I think I'm not sure how I'd put it across verse. So in some ways, I'd say Superman. But you say something?
Uh,
Uh, uh, it's Superman, but Shane Shield's almost Superman. Again, Batman would be interesting. I'm just not sure how. Like maybe the Green Lantern and Spider Man, but is Green Lantern just a character? Or is that a whole set of characters? Spider Man, I can probably fit in easy enough. There's other characters I like, of course, in DC and Marvel. I'm just not sure which ones. Uh, I just went through my top quote unquote five characters between Marvel and DC. Although Wonder Woman would be neat. Again, I'm just not sure how she would fit in. Although technically, although I haven't got all background, I have done my rip-off version of Superman, um, and my rip-off version of Wonder Woman, Batman. Some of them actually have a created history, so it can be a full group of characters if they came out the same year. Yeah, well, for Green Lantern, Alan Scott obviously came out way before Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan came out before Guy Gardner or John Stewart, and then there's a whole bunch of other ones in there like Kilowog and all that when they came out. And then Kyle Rayner, of course. That's why I'm just wondering with Green Lantern, would we consider him just a single character or the group? Of course, the Green Lantern Corps itself came out a lot later than came out with Hal Jordan. That's probably around the time you would have got Kilowog and a few of the bigger name Green Lantern. Or what if you could pick a year and get a character that created that year? Ooh. That would be interesting because, say, I think from 60 to 65, Marvel created a lot of characters. Stan Lee created a lot of characters in those years. As for DC, there was probably quite a few characters created in the 40s each year, but some of the major ones were created more than a year apart. That's more. I know that's more than a year. Goodness me, but I'm saying there was so many, like probably in like just 60 or just 61 each individual year. Yes, a mainstay of their characters was created in that time frame, but if you picked any year within that, you would get a probably good. If you picked just 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, you would get a whole slew of characters. By Marvel, because that's more when the Marvel thing, yeah, Captain America, Namor, and a couple more were um, done in like the 40s or 30s. Although a lot of characters that I would like, I like the Archie heroes. So they were created back in the 40s. That would possibly be one of the years in the 40s. That could possibly be a year somewhere in there. Uh, you should do a parody tie-in of Wolverine and Shield. I can show you pictures of the secret base in Alberta that came from the film. Yeah, well, I am definitely planning on doing a parody. I'm not sure whether to call it a parody version, but a version of Wolverine in my comics, or probably a couple versions actually. But in my, done a Justice League, and I've made the Justice League and a bunch of Marvel stuff characters as teens and put them as one team. Uh, and there's a Wolverine in that, and I think I've called him Pitbull. I can actually understand what you are saying, but I had to Google slew. Okay, I have no idea what you mean. Slew variant or slide violent or controllable in a particular direction. Okay. I'm not sure what you're talking about. One of the biggest problems with the old problem is no depth. True, true, true. But they were just starting out. They didn't realize that they needed depth back then because most people didn't care. The audience has become care to care more. As you got into the 80s, 90s, people began to care. Because before the 70s, nobody really cared because uh, even TV shows were episodic back then. So, nothing really, well, from one episode to another, really didn't affect much to each other. Now we want to see the effects from one thing to another, not even just Marvel or DC, any fictional characters that came out that year, games, books, etc. Yeah, be interesting for sure, Joshua. I just, I think in comics and use the Marvel DC, but I got sort of your point, I guess, or maybe I had thought about that part too, but I had more, I focused more on the Marvel DC. You also have to use the original version. You can't have them resemble a newer version. Yeah, the first Marvel shows had no connection to the comic series. Yeah. Well, it depends what you mean by the first Marvel shows. Like, I think the ones in the '60s and '70s, they had a connection in the fact that the characters were actually based off the characters in the comics, and they resembled them a lot closely than most of the cartoons do today. I've often said the Golden Age comic art is often very high quality versus the usual and well, whatever writing of the Golden Age. I guess it depends on the comic that you get because most of them I don't find the great quality. Well, depends what you're comparing it to, I guess. Really, I found the most of it art from to be abysmal. Says Joshua. Oh, you're trying to tell me what the word that he was abysmal writing. The art can be just as bad, and really in a lot of ways, but especially if you compare it to today's. Maybe for the time it was real good. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't have really much to compare it to at the time. Rick, what are your thoughts on everyone creating YouTube? Tom, Scott, Pete, Canyon, Matt Pot. Well, seeing as how I'm trying to make a living from this, although I'm not getting any money yet, Pepto Bismol. uh, and this is how I keep in contact with a lot of you. I'd say it's a bad idea. They can quit, and their followers can come follow me. Not that they probably want to. So what's everybody else up? What's everybody up to for the rest of the week? Any plans for the weekends? Any plans for tomorrow? Except for like work and stuff. Normal. Anything special planned? Rick, have you ever considered becoming a friend? Unfortunately, I don't know all the rules of acquisition. I know two, but I don't know what number they are. Peace is good for business, and war is good for business. Might help improve his looks. That's two more than all of us combined. That's two more than all of us combined. Rick's response was, "Oh, slap." No, oh, smack. Not slap. Slap, smack. Smack, slap. Slap, smack. Oh, so you're saying everybody else out there knows no rules of acquisition? Tim, did you know any Frankie rules of acquisition before you started, Joshua? I know none. I know I've heard a lot more, especially for Deep Space Nine. I don't think I could ever be all about the profit, so I don't think I'd be a good Ferengi. And Joshua was like, huh? What are we talking about? Timothy is Betazoid. Well, Goodnight Spoon said that I named two more rules and acquisition than all the chat combined. I was wondering if you knew more than two rules of acquisition for the Ferengis. Now Alpha is Zoida Mega, says Timotei. See, Tim knows nothing. He knows nothing, he sees nothing, he hears nothing. I know. And shame on you for thinking that. I don't know. You don't know if you know more than two rules of Ferengi acquisition. I'm here, and if you're coming awfully close to something there, Timothy. Although I know you're joking around though. You mean gibberish? Oh, goodness. It's a shambles. Gibberish. I was thinking another word, or one of a couple of words. Sacrilege, heresy. I'm sure there's another word I'm thinking of, but can't think of it. Donnie is Ferengi Fisher. Schizobabble. Any news on Scott? Like Scott, who used to come around here? No, no news on him. Actually, we haven't heard from Brandon in a few weeks either. Oh, shucks, you know it. Is he still stalking John? I don't know. Is he still gang stalking John? Who knows? Maybe he's the one that helped the pipe to burst on John. Oh, why would he want to do that? Well, Scott thought John was doing all sorts of things to him, stalking him or whatever. Not that I think he did it. I was joking, of course. Are we talking Ferengi rules? No, I don't think that's Ferengi rule of acquisition. Let's see whether we probably find out some of these rules of acquisition. Let's see whether I can find some rules. Ferengi rule of acquisition 87. Learn the customer's weakness so you can take better advantage of him or them. That's what I said, Rick. There are 30. I think there's more than 34. I think there's in the hundreds. And actually, rule of acquisition, number rule one of the acquisitions is once you have their money, never give it back. 34 is, oh, we talked about 34 already. 34 is war is good for business, and then 35 is peace is good for business. Uh, Officially, there's 289, maybe 285. Unofficially, it's up to 299. Well, Rick, we need to know Rule 1 and 2 and 34. They actually bothered to make rules. Yes, this is also, a lot of these are written into Star Trek, into the various, well, more probably Deep Space, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and maybe a little bit of Voyager. But probably more Deep Space Nine with a Ferengi being the main focus. Now they don't have every single one. Like they don't show. They've never said what number 2 is. The second rule of acquisition. Hey, Alpha Proto, thanks for that. Alpha Proto says give 1 thumbs up. They actually, yes, world building matters. Shock you. Rule of acquisition number 3 is never spend more for an acquisition than you have to. That's just good business, actually. Technically, you could call these rules for business. Rule 6, never allow family to stand in the way of opportunity. Some are good, some of these are ethical, sometimes they're not. Number 7 is keep your ears open. 8 is small print leads to large risk. I would agree. Rick, I demand you convert to free. How are you, Alpha? How else would they think of so many cameras for made-up species? Uh, 9 is opportunity plus instinct equals profit. 10, greed is eternal. Uh, uh, establish, I establish one issue at a time. One issue at a time. All the things about my character. You're unaware of what authors do, Timothy? Yeah, well, Timothy, you're dealing with a comic book, dealing with one issue at a time. They're dealing with a TV series that they're doing 20 plus episodes a season. So, this stuff is going to come up, especially for Deep Space Nine. You know, that's over 140 episodes. 16, I think I said that, but a deal is a deal. I established uh, 17, a contract is a contract is a contract, but only between Ferengi. In other words, if you're not a Ferengi, you don't have to abide by the contract. A Ferengi, 18, a Ferengi without profit is no Ferengi at all. 21. Never place friendship above profit. I definitely cannot be a Fergie. 22. A wise man can hear profit in the wind. G. I'm aware of what authors do holding up 4 published books. Yes, but are you aware of what good authors do, Timothy? What? Because uh, I couldn't place friendship. I couldn't place profit above friendship. 23. Nothing is more important than your health, except your money. 31. Never make fun of a Ferengi's mother. 33. It never hurts to suck up to the boss. And we went over 34 and 35. What do you mean? If a friend embezzled money from your company, you'd be okay with it? No, I wouldn't be okay with it. See that? The Canadian. See that? The Canadian middle finger. But if a friend needs help and I got a chance to make, some money, I'm probably going to give up the chance of making money unless it's, unless it's my regular job or whatever. But, or if I've loaned a friend a few bucks and he doesn't pay it back, I'm not going to let that kill the friendship. I'm more certain now. Yeah, especially when he didn't get my burn. Well, I'm not sure whether he got my burn earlier or not. And he says, geez, I'm aware of what authors do, holding up 4 self-published books. And then I said, what about good, good authors? Would that kill the friendship? What if it was American? No, it would not kill the friendship, Alpha Porto. Like I said, my silence is expensive payout. 45. Expand or die. 47. Don't trust a man wearing a better suit than your own. 48. The bigger the smile, the sharper the knife. This is one that we should. Rule 57 is something that lots of companies need to know and figure out. Good customers are as rare as platinum. Treasure them. 59. Free advice is seldom cheap. 62. The riskier the road, the greater the profit. These are good rules. Yeah, some of them are actually pretty good. 74. Knowledge equals profit. I said, let's do it to 20. Yeah. 75. Home is where the heart is, but the stars are made of latinum. Yes, they made that one when they started exploring the stars. 76. Once in a while, declare peace. It confuses the hell out of your enemies. That was 76. 91. Your boss is only worth what he pays you. Look, I just remembered how they treat women. Don't worry. Well, that changed in DS9. Or possibly. Yeah, GKS does not want to be mistreated. Well, Rule 94. Although I would have thought this would have been higher, or closer to the top. This should probably be for number 2 with Randy. Females and finances don't mix. Oh, the Reed listed one, 95. Expand or die. 98. Every man has his price. I hope that's. 102. Nature decays, but Latin lasts forever. 103. Sleep can interfere with. Dot, dot, dot. 109. Dignity and an empty sack is worth the empty sack. That's sort of like thing where uh, that and a box of chocolates or a bag of chips or whatever. Uh, 111. Treat people in debt like family. Exploit the 112. Never have sex with the boss's sister. 125. You can't make a deal if you're dead. 139. Wives serve, brothers inherit. 168. Whisper your way to success. 190. Hear all, trust nothing. 194. It's always good business to know about new customers before they walk in your door. 203. New customers are like razor tooth greenworms. They can be succulent, but sometimes they bite back. These rules don't sound good after 59. Some of them do, some of them don't. 208. Sometimes the only thing more dangerous than a question is an answer. That is true. That one's 211. Employees are the rung on the ladder of success. Don't hesitate to step on them. Okay, that might not be good, very good. 214. Never begin a business negotiation on an empty stomach. Yeah, because you want to get away from the table faster. So you might agree to something that's stupid. 217. You can't free a fish from water. Rick tried being wrong. Okay, 223 says unknown but presumably concerned the relationship between keeping busy and being successful. 229. Platinum lasts longer than lust. 239. Never be afraid to mislabel a product. Okay, 263. Never allow doubt to tarnish your lust for latinum. 285. No good deed goes ever goes unpunished. Well, geez, I know many people that's a human thing. 289, possibly. Shoot first, count profits later. That says it's from LD. I'm not sure what LD is. And an unknown says unknown for number. A man is only worth the sum of his possessions. I thought we did 286. No, we didn't. 286. Unofficial. I guess these are from books or whatever. I don't know why they're unofficial. They've got things beside them where they're from. When mom leaves, it's all over. 299. When you've exploited someone, it never hurts to thank them. That way, it's easier to exploit them the next time. Exploitation begins at home. When no appetite, when no appropriate rule applies, make one up. The unwritten rule. Maybe the Negus lied about something. Yeah, who knows? So, there are some of the rules of acquisition. They do not have all 299 or whatever. But, see, make up the rules. Sorry, leaving out. Oh, got about another 5 minutes. Although I'm not sure what I'm going to do for 5 minutes. So are you Frankie? No. Rick, what's what Star Trek race am I? Well, you're not Vulcan, that's for sure. I don't think you're Klingon. Uh, um, I don't think you're a Romulan either. I don't think you're Ferengi. Maybe Tellarite? No. Dorian? MIYN? Ooh, are you part of. Well, and that would be not a founder, but I'm not even sure what the Wayun is. I forget. There's the Jemadar. I forget what that race is called. Wayun's race. Vorta, yeah, okay. But no, I don't think he'd be a Vorta. Cardassian, Bajoran, Binar? Are you a Binar? Hey, Pilfer. Uh, good to see you streaming again. Well, thanks. Well, I haven't really stopped streaming. I'm here every Tuesday night from 10 till midnight Eastern Standard Time, of course. Um, hopefully, I will still be able to do two betas, so maybe. But I don't think you're good enough mental powers. You know what? I think I know which Star Trek race you are. I think you're human. But yeah, I'm here every Tuesday. February 1st, I'm moving out west to Vancouver, Canada. For a minimum of probably 2 months, maybe indefinitely. I'm super excited, Rick. How dare you? My Battlestar Galactica coaster turned out great for my level of 3D printing. Awesome. And yes, and I'd like to thank my Patreon person, Go for Pup Draws, my one and only Patreon. Yeah. Am I also a founder? No, I wouldn't say you're a founder. Um, and you guys, other people could be a Patreon supporter too. You just look for my Patreon link down in the description. Same question, but substitute the other chatters in my place. Well, you want to know something? I think of all the Star Trek races that you guys could be, I think you are all human. Human, as a friend you would say. Oh, did you realize that the actor of Quark was in an early episode of TNG? He was also the principal in Buffy, and he was also an alien race in Stargate SG-1. I want to be from Rigel 7. Well, you can be right from Rigel 7, JR, but you're just human. You're yeah. Rick, I am absolutely very oppressive. How dare you? Well, it's that time, folks. It is now midnight here. So it is time to end. I would like to thank everybody in the chat for coming by, chatting with me. It's been great having you all here talking, you know, about this, that, and everything. I will, of course, be back next week, next Tuesday. I thought he was Canadian. He didn't write Canadian. So we will. Who knows? Next week I might be able to announce that I have a place that I'm going to be staying. Because the 15th I'm going to start looking and be willing to put out some money for a place. Take care. If I don't see you for a while. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see everybody next week. So live long and prosper. Or Nanu, Nanu. God bless all. Love you all.